6. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Please join us for a moment of silence, and Councilmember Javed, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there anyone signed up for public comment? Nope. All right, is there anyone not signed up but would still like to make public comment? All right, seeing no one, we will move on. Today we have presentations. We would like to first introduce our newly elected treasurer, Donald Shuemaker. Come on up and introduce yourself.
Just want to say thank you, for everybody in the city. I feel very welcome. And
Is it on?
Is it?
I don't think it's on.
It's on.
the simple things.
There you go.
I just want to say thank you, and I feel really welcome. The staff has been really welcoming to me here. I really appreciate that. I want to let you know that we have been very busy. We've already made some changes in the first 2 days. If you come into our office, you will see 2 brand new workstations at the window. And I want to thank Don and his staff who installed them today, and they will be fully functional tomorrow. So we are already making progress. Yesterday was an interesting day. It was my first day on the job, first day for Lucy in her new position. I couldn't ask for a better partner than Lucy and her staff, and I just want to say thank you to them. My deputy, who has gone above and beyond, he came in over the weekend to run some of the payments so that we wouldn't get too far behind, and we still each did 12 hours yesterday. So we would just want to say thank you to the citizens who were patient. We ran an 1.5 to 2 hour wait time all day yesterday. So we just want to say thank you to all the citizens who were patient with us. Just to give you an idea, just yesterday, we took in $72,680 in tax and $59,000 in water and sewer payments, and most of those were in cash.
Wow.
And that's a total of $132,000, which does not include any of the personal property that we got through the mail or the drop box, because we just did not have a capacity to go through it. And the citizens shouldn't worry, we're going to sit down. You will get decals mailed to you. But I just want you to understand the scale that we did that just in one day.
Wow.
Without counting the other stuff. So we probably easily did $200,000.
Wow.
So just one day. So I want to say thank you. I'm here. And if you get a call from me 8 o'clock at night from City Hall, it might be me returning your phone call, because I'm going through the voicemails and we're returning calls. So just expect that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donald. We appreciate all the work you're doing up there. And next, we would like to introduce our newly elected Commissioner of the Revenue, Lucy Pullen.
It's hard to follow Donald. I'm very grateful to be here. I think the city, we're trying to make new procedures and things to make the processes easier for the citizens, and I think we're attempting that, and it's happening. The citizens seem to be okay with the wait times that we have. It's just a whole new world for everybody. The city, a new time, a new council, new everything, and we're just new city manager. It's going to be great for the city, and we're just very happy to be here. Thank you.
Sure.
I just want to comment that today I got to stop by Donald's office and Lucy's office, and just the energy amongst the two of you and the staff, and the synergy between the two of you was just amazing. So thank you.
And I'd like to make a comment. I appreciate both of you, what you're doing and how you're hitting the road going. And what you've told me, Mr. Treasurer, you told me more than the previous treasurer told me ever. And unfortunately, her own professionalism should have worked with you for a better transition, which she did not do. And you're already doing a lot more. So I applaud you and what you're doing for the residents, and I know you'll be successful. So thank you.
I'm just excited. I think that we're in a
up and up with the city, and I just love the energy, and then thank you so much for caring for the city, and I'm just happy that you guys are here.
Truly a new day dawning here in Manassas Park, and thank you, Donald and Lucy, for bringing it about.
Congrats to both of you. Yeah, no, welcome. And looking forward to working with you guys. Thank you.
Yep, so congratulations, both of you, on your election win, and we're so excited you're here. We look forward to a positive working relationship. Excellent. All right, next up we have the consent agenda. The consent agenda includes the approval of the minutes from December 16th, 2025, and appointments to the Metropolitan Council of Governments as listed in the staff report attached to the agenda item. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. New business, resolution endorsing VDOT design for Manassas Drive Sidewalk Project. Welcome, Steve, and everyone from VDOT. Thank you for coming out.
Brought the whole team with us. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of council. To the Treasurer and Commissioner, welcome to the city. We're glad to have you and look forward to working with you. This evening, I have alongside me members of VDOT, Kubina Gatua and Dipali Patel, as well as Datno from AMT Engineering, and we're here to brief you on the sidewalk project on Manassas Drive. This project has been in the works for some time. This originated with a technical assistance opportunity with VDOT. It was pro bono. The city has been grateful enough to receive numerous technical assistance opportunities through VDOT to do some preliminary studies looking at possible grant opportunities, both transportation alternatives, highway safety improvement program, et cetera. We've been successful and lucky enough to get some of these projects funded as a result of the technical assistance. So definitely appreciate VDOT for that. As a result of the technical assistance, we applied under the Transportation Alternatives Program for a section of missing sidewalk that you all know too well. It's been in all of our plans virtually, our transportation, our active transportation plan, our comprehensive plan, and you can't miss it. This is the section of Manassas Drive from Railroad to the Norfolk Southern Tracks. It's westbound if you're traveling, well, westbound. It's on the side closest to the VRE surface lot. As you know, it's pretty heavily traversed by the public. Folks walk up and down it. It will provide ADA accessibility, wheelchair accessibility to the current VRE sidewalk to get to the new platform and to the elevated structure. And again, it's funded by Transportation Alternatives. And I just wanted to give a general background, and we're going to let Dat speak to some of the technical details of the project. Thank you.
All right. So what you see on the screen, again, is just the aerial location of the project limits. The length of the sidewalk is approximately 600 feet. There is an existing guardrail run, as you're aware of, that runs up and down this side of the roadway. We will be implementing drainage and stormwater management improvements along with this project. And ultimately, the proposed facilities will be maintained by the City of Manassas Park. So that allowed us to kind of leverage some of our design requirements that we have to meet. So it definitely benefited the design of this project, as you'll see in the next slide. All right, so one of the, I guess the major challenge to this project is the existing slope in the middle of the project, which is very steep. It's heavily wooded, as you can kind of see in the photo to the right. So we wanted to avoid that tree removal as well as impacting the existing drainage system down there. There's an existing creek. There's a huge culvert that runs underneath Manassas Drive. And also we want to avoid impacting existing utilities as well. So that's always a challenge on every single project, especially in an urbanized area, and the same applies to this project. So as part of the design, the sidewalk, and Steve had mentioned an accessible ramp that we also want to provide with this project, and that is going to be installed in that open area right by the staircase leading to the VRE station. In the upper right corner, you kind of see where that design lays right now. Again, the staircase is being retained, so that is staying with the project. We're not removing that. We're not disturbing that. The only section that we're removing is towards the bottom to make a clean connection to that existing sidewalk that leads to the parking lot. So again, we have ADA ramps, a stormwater management facility in the middle of that open area, and the intent here again is just to avoid utility impacts while providing ADA accessibility. And one of the cool things that I guess our engineering design team was able to do here, we were able to reduce the slope of this ramp to under 5%. So when you do that, it's classified as a sidewalk and not a ramp, and that allows you to avoid putting in handrail. Again, just a lesser, one less thing that the city has to maintain. It reduces the cost of the project as well. So I was very proud of my team for kind of analyzing that and getting that slope below 5%. So here's sort of a general layout of the project area. You notice areas that we've highlighted in green, red, and then green again. As I mentioned, the middle of the project was our biggest challenge, and so we had to get really creative with our solutions through this segment. And you kind of see in the middle of the screen at the top that huge culvert that I was referring to that runs across Manassas Drive in this area. So the bottom left is a typical section of just the standard sidewalk width that we have implemented, 6 foot wide. We have 5 feet of soil backing for the guardrail system, and then we basically tie down as quickly as we can, standard curb and gutter. So these are the sections that towards the ends of the project where we have the space to incorporate this full-out standard design. So in the middle is that reduced typical that we had to kind of, again, just get creative with our solutions. So we reduced the gutter pan. We had to reduce the sidewalk down to a 4 foot minimum to meet the minimum AASHTO requirements. And then we filled in the guardrail slope at a 10-to-1. We utilize a 9 foot guardrail post in this area. And what that does is reduces the soil backing behind the guardrail. Again, the ultimate goal is to basically tie down before that hinge point and avoid spilling down that slope and having to remove all those trees and impact the existing creek down there. So that's pretty much, I got kind of technical with that, and then I'll let Kabina kind of give a status update of where we are.
So currently we're at 40% of design. We just completed posting a notice of willingness to the public to hold a public hearing and received no request to hold a public hearing. So our next steps would be to obtain design approval, complete our right-of-way acquisitions and utility relocations, and then advertise the project. Beyond that, we move on to construction. On the right side, you see our project development process, and we're currently around where that triangle is. So moving on to the next green square for the detailed design phase. So here's our current schedule. Back in July 2025, we completed the scoping and PFI meeting. Like we just previously said, completed the willingness posting back in December. Our next steps would be to obtain the design approval this spring, followed by right-of-way authorization in the fall. And then moving on to 2027, we complete the field inspection pre-advertisement conference, followed by the advertisement in the fall of 2027, and hope to get this completed, construction completed in spring 2029. I believe construction begins around spring 2028. And even though we have these schedules here, we hope to accelerate and then take care of any efficiencies that we may come across and try and deliver it as quickly as possible whenever the need may be. So here's our current budget. For preliminary engineering, we have about $498,000. For right-of-way and utility location, about $375,000, and about $850,000 for construction, for a total of about $1.7 million. The funding is considered federal and includes a 20% match from the City of Manassas Park towards the project. This is per the TAP policy. This brings us to the end of our presentation and open up to any questions or comments you may have.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys coming out. This is a very important section that needs to be filled in for sure. I'm excited that it's underway. I'm a little sad to see that it's not going to be completed until 2029. But I guess if we can, we're stuck with that. My question is, this is 600 feet of sidewalk and it's costing $1.7 million. That's about $15 million per mile. That's an incredibly expensive sidewalk. What? Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so, sorry, you can finish your question, sorry.
No, just where is that, where do you see that cost coming from?
Yeah, so I knew this question was going to come up, and we talked about this on the dry run. So what Cabina has right now is the approved funding, like the budget of the project. It is actually not what the project costs will be once it's completed. Right now, our engineering cost estimate is only at $1.2 million. That not only includes construction, but it includes a small right-of-way acquisition. We need an easement from the railroad. And as of right now, prior to us doing the right-of-way analysis, we don't have an accurate number for right-of-way. And then prior to the utilities coming in and doing their estimate for their relocations, we also don't have an accurate estimate for that. So we kind of have to use the $375K for that right now. As of right now, it's at 1.2. That number may go slightly up or down. We don't know the final number yet until we get towards PAC. But that 1.7 is not, we anticipate that's not going to be the total cost of the project.
Okay, all right, thank you. Questions, start down this way?
Sure. Thank you for the presentation. I think if there's a map on the north side of the map, you said it's going to be ADA compliant. So would that be a ramp coming down towards the existing sidewalk in the parking lot? I think it was.
Yes, that one.
If you look at the.
Yeah, so that's going to be a ramp. It's technically classified as a sidewalk connection.
Yeah.
And so folks who can go down the stairs will still have the staircase to go down, and folks who need wheelchair access can loop around and connect to the flat sidewalk at the bottom in
Right,
the
okay.
photo that you see.
So it'll be the two
Yeah.
separate stairs and.
Councilman, I would add too that we had initially looked at doing a switchback ramp, which was more of a zigzag
Right.
Z-type pattern, but it was determined through engineering that we were able to get the slope that was necessary by just doing the sidewalk connection.
Okay. And then you said something about, I guess there were some notes back here about drainage. So what is going to, do we have existing drainage there now, or we have to put a drainage?
There is.
Yeah, so part of our stormwater analysis, whenever you add an additional impervious area, that water has to be treated, both from a quality and quantity perspective. So as part of the design review and the requirements that we have to meet, you'll see on the screen here, the upper left, there's a small stormwater management pond there. And then in the upper right-hand corner, there's another small pond that exists in that small grass area.
I see. So then just along the sidewalks, you would have to just put, I guess, we would need like an opening or something on the sidewalk that's by the road? On the curb, I guess?
Which pond are you talking about, though?
Both, like on the roadside.
Oh, no, there's not going to be, there will be an inlet
Yeah,
and connecting pipes to those proposed inlets.
that's it.
And that's it, yeah. So
Okay.
you'll see a curb and gutter, which is a shoulder section, so that'll be
Right.
a curb and gutter
Oh, okay.
with a couple of drop inlets once we're finished.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
No, that's it. Thank you.
I think this is a great project. I'm excited to see it completed. I do share the mayor's disappointment that it's going to take till 2029 before we can be walking on it. Can you help me understand what are the drivers behind that timeline? Like, why does it take 4 years to build a sidewalk? I'm an uneducated person. So
Yeah, I just want to clarify Kobina's initial point that he made. This is a very conservative schedule, and so it's a placeholder. And I think the goal is to exceed these dates. However, to answer your question, some of these timelines that are built in there, obviously, there's a public involvement phase. There's design approval, and I think the biggest component of a project that takes the most amount of time is the utility relocation and the right-of-way acquisition. So, you can add.
And I can speak briefly to that too. In the transportation world, there are different funding sources for projects. It could be local city money, where we're lucky enough to own and maintain our own roads. Where if we had, $1 million to construct the sidewalk, we could hire one of our on-call engineers and just construct it within a year, probably. That's not the case because it is a grant. Then we have state or regional funding, which we could obviously use in more of an expedited timeline, whereas the federalized funding gets into a whole nother, ball of requirements and steps along the way. And it does. I share the concern too. I mean, this started in 2023, and I want nothing more than to see it constructed as well. It's my goal, and these guys will tell you every time we're on the meeting, I'm pushing like let's get this thing to construction. But
is part of that, because just for folks at home, it's 1.7 million, and the city is putting up 344,000.
correct.
So we're getting a lot of value from these state and federal grants, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess is the timing of those disbursements part of the reason why think the calendar's so long, or the timeline's so long, or is that not the case?
No, well, okay, so the initial funding, and you may have to jump in here, but when we initially applied for the Transportation Alternatives Project, it was a FY26 grant, I believe. And so we technically couldn't have started the project until October 2025. Or was it 25? Sorry. So we technically couldn't have started it until October 2025. No, October 2024. Okay, so our agreement came in July 2024. We had 6 months to sign off. So it was part of an elongated timeline due to the federal requirements. And then each phase of the project has sort of prescribed or recommended timeframes, which, as mentioned, these are we would like to consider them conservative estimates. I certainly hope we can get through. We just, when it comes to the right of way, we don't know. Norfolk Southern has been party to this. They've been reviewing the plan, so we'd like to think the easement's not going to be an issue, but you never know with that too. So there is some time built in for that. But as soon as we can get it, started construction, I don't believe it's going to take a full year to construct this. So.
All right, thank you.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. Excellent. Like everyone else on the dais is excited about the sidewalk being put in. Disappointed that it's taking so long to do it. Couple questions. So did I understand you correctly that the sidewalk is going to go 6 feet at one section and then it's going to go narrow to 4 feet in another section? Okay. Where did that
That's
take
correct.
place? Is it along?
Yeah, if you ever drive down this section, that 4 foot wide section is going to be where you see right behind the guardrail, where you see all the heavily wooded area.
Yes.
That's the biggest pinch point. Right behind that guardrail is a steep drop off,
Yes.
which we were trying to avoid, staying away from filling
So
down.
does the sidewalk then still become ADA as far as width?
Yes, so it meets
Okay.
ASHTO minimum, which is 4 feet. So we could not go below that 4 feet. That was
Couldn't
the
go
absolute
below
minimum
4.
that we could not
Gotcha.
go below.
Okay, and you mentioned right-of-way acquisition. Other than the train company, who else owns property along that line that we have to negotiate with?
Yeah, so to the upper left of the screen is another property owner. I don't remember the name of that property owner, but that's not Norfolk Southern, so that's a separate one. However, we are actually right now, and I think I shot DePauli some emails. We are researching right now because there's an existing drainage easement on that property.
Mm-hmm.
If that is able to accompany our new proposed pond maintenance-wise and construction, that easement goes away. Now we're only dealing with one property owner, which is Norfolk Southern.
That would
Again,
be
just
great.
speeds things up, yeah.
Yeah, tremendously.
Yeah.
Okay, and my final question is, for the ADA part of the ramp,
Mhm.
will there be truncated domes used in those sections as well?
Yes, the only section that has the truncated domes, detectable warning surfaces,
Mhm.
is at leading up to the railroad crossing. Beyond that,
Oh, just there.
yeah, it's just there. Beyond that, whenever you do not need detectable warning surfaces outside of road crossings. So,
Okay.
yeah, if it intersects with a sidewalk, that does not warrant a detectable warning surface.
Doesn't detect- Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
I have a question. The actual construction timeline, is that 1 year to do the construction after you have all the permitting? My question is, so I was in Florida last week and they built I-275, they widened I-275 over the Tampa Bay. They did that in 2 years. Miami, they built 2 tunnels, they bored underneath within 2 years. They just did finish Ultimate 4 in Orlando, which was in 3 years. Why does it take 1 year to build a sidewalk? Why can't that be done in 30 days?
It's very conservative.
I just don't understand that, because you see China putting up skyscrapers in 30 days. They've done intersections in 48 hours. And to build a sidewalk, and this is the same issue I had when they were doing it at the school, because that was about a 12-month. I just don't understand why it takes a year to do a sidewalk,
So we have
unless
sort of-
one person is doing it.
Right. We have like templates, and depending on what the project is, it spits out like these, let's say, generous timelines. As we proceed to final design and hammer everything out, we would rather come up with the maximum as opposed to tell you what, it could be, and then later on, like, oops, it took much longer than that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If I can add, I'm from the
Yeah, we come up to the microphone. This one.
The one right
This
in front
microphone
of you.
right here. Yeah, thanks.
Hi. As far as the project timeline is concerned and advertisement to end of completion, we have, once the project is advertised, it takes about 3 months when the bids come in and the review process happen. So review process happens and the central office chooses the contractor and actually provides NTP. That process itself takes about 3 months. And then if we are in, say, winter, when the award happens, then we lose a few months there to actually start construction. So kind of 6 months or so are lost in that. And then we are just accounting for like an average time of 6 months for the actual construction work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just a
Thanks.
total timeline from advertisement to end that is the conservative estimate.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to Polly. I think that's one of the things too that even I sometimes am guilty of and lose sight of is when we are required, VDOT is administering this project. It's not the city administering it. And so as a result of it being federal, there are extra hoops that we have to jump through with review by their central office to make sure it was procured properly, minimum advertisements for the bid, the RFP or the IFB. And then we have to get, various approvals. It's not something the city can just say, oh, yep, looks good. We've gotten our bids and run it through the attorney's office and bring it to you for an agreement. So believe me, I want this thing built like tomorrow. So we're going to do whatever we can to get it constructed as soon as we can.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate that. My question isn't on on the bidding piece, the acquisition.
understand. It should
I
not.
don't get why it takes even 6 months to build a
Oh, it
sidewalk.
shouldn't.
I think that can be done in a week. I think it's possible. I think the Pontchartrain, the bridge over the Lake Pontchartrain in Louisiana was built, I think, in 1.5 years. And
I
that was
agree.
27 miles over a lake with gators and everything. And I just don't understand. I don't get how a sidewalk.
The gators are
Again,
motivated.
unless that the worker is one person, 2 hours a day. I mean, I don't get it.
No, I totally agree.
When they did the thing in front of Osborne Park and they had the third way in there, that took like a year, and they just added a lane in front of the length of the school, and I'm like, it was flat land, and I don't get that.
I totally agree. We have some running jokes, but
I'll digress.
I'll spare you guys right now. But I understand, and I agree.
So what kind of updates are we going to get as far as things go along?
Sure, I can keep you all updated as regularly as you'd like through the city manager's office. If anytime you'd like a status update on the design, if the design's been completed, we can let you know that. We can let you know, as we're getting ready for right-of-way and for the utility phase. As we progress through this, again, I'm hoping to expedite this as much as possible. So as much as you like to be informed, as we follow each phase or each stage, we can do that.
I think the citizens would like to hear more about once the construction starts, because that's what they're going to see. They're going to see the construction.
Sure.
When is it going to be done? Kind of get updates on that, because if it is, the construction is what, a year or
Yeah.
two? I think we definitely need
Absolutely.
updates on that. For sure. And also, once the construction starts, is there going to kind of be any kind of lane closure, a single lane closure to help with that? Like what's going to happen with any of that?
Yeah, there is going to be maintenance of traffic that the contractor that's awarded the project will be expected to perform. It won't be city forces, it'll be the contractor. Do you know at this time if we're looking to do a lane closure? Yeah.
Yeah, so during non-peak hours, they'll set up cones to temporarily shut off the outside lane so that they can remove, pour concrete, things like that. But it'll only be during non-peak hours. Morning rush hour, afternoon rush hour, they have to shut down. They cannot be having any lanes closed during those times.
So I think the updates on that will be helpful, especially publicly for our citizens. The other thing about the 4 foot, 6 foot, just want to go back to slide 6. So the 4 foot is the red part, correct? All the red. How long is that?
So that's approximately, so the total length is 600, so that's probably, I would say, I don't have stations on here, but probably 300?
So half will be 4 feet.
Yeah, a little under half, yeah.
Okay, and then the other will be green, the 6 foot. What's the transition between those look like? So you're going from 6 feet, which is pretty big, and then 4 feet, a little tiny thing, right? So how does that transition?
Yeah, right now we have implemented a 25-foot transition, so at those points it'll transition
So
out.
it's just going to get
Correct,
progressively
yeah.
smaller?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and why was 4 feet just because of drainage issues, or could you have done 5 feet or 4.5 or a little bit bigger?
Yes, so through our iterations, we worked backwards. Obviously, the first run through, we went 6 feet, standard all the way down. Okay, that spills down into the creek. Went down to 5 feet, went down to 4 feet. 4 feet still didn't work. So now we're sort of in engineering mode. So now we're going, okay, well, let's reduce the gutter pan. That still didn't work. And so now we're left with, okay, well, we have to go with a guardrail post, 9-foot guardrail post. And then we have to slope the grading underneath the guardrail 10-1. So that finally caught that hinge point when we modeled it in our CAD design software.
Could you have done those things and then increase this size to 5 feet?
Yeah, we tried 5 feet.
Oh, you tried? Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
we
thank you.
worked backwards until, okay, that was the absolute minimum, and thankfully, it worked. And so it did not kill the project. So I think that was.
We talked about reducing
Lane widths as
lane
well,
width
yeah.
of Manassas Drive. We talked about reducing the shoulder and the gutter pans, and
Mhm.
felt that having the vehicles encroach more towards the sidewalk was less safe than having the 4-foot sidewalk. And the backside of that has the steep slope that just drops straight off. So without having a bunch of additional fill,
Right.
earthen fill, that would have definitely taken some more time.
Yeah, and it can be done, but now you're talking about a $3-4 million project,
All right.
which
Thank you.
it's not funny.
That answers my question. Thanks.
Any last questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I should have added, Mayor, there is a
Sure.
request for a resolution for you all to endorse this project.
Right,
Thank
okay.
you.
So the staff recommendation is that the governing body approve the resolution endorsing the Manassas Drive Sidewalk Project as presented and subject to final city attorney review.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Resolution endorsing application for congestion mitigation and air quality program reports. Grant.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, members of council, Steve Hall again, Transportation Program Manager. I don't know if I introduced myself last time, but you know who I am. This comes around each year. This is the CMAQ Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Program. The next item will be for the Regional Surface Transportation Program. We typically are allocated up to $500,000 to $600,000. This is federal money. It's funneled through NVTA. Essentially, we can get a portion of those funds as long as we ask for them. So we are eligible to receive them. What we've used CMAQ money for the last several iterations are trails money for active transportation improvements, and that's what the request is again this year. So we're asking you to approve a resolution in support of an application for active transportation improvements. This is FY32.
Great. Any questions? Start down to the left.
No questions, thank you.
No question. Thank you.
No questions.
No question.
No questions.
All right. Staff recommendation is that the governing body approve a resolution in support of the CMAQ application for purpose of implementing the city's active transportation plan as presented and subject to final city attorney review.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. And finally, a resolution endorsing application for NVTA Regional Surface Transportation Program grant.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, members of council, this is the RSTP program. This year, again, we're asking for approximately $300,000, depending on NVTA's recommendation, and your support for a feasibility study to assess a grade separating crossing of the rail line here, and possibly the elimination of the Manassas Drive crossing, if it's even feasible. But we want to look at options to have a grade separated crossing here at Manassas Drive and the rail line.
Okay.
Thank you.
Questions? Start this way.
I'm sorry, could you just repeat that again?
Sure. We are requesting $300,000 in feasibility money in feasibility funds to assess a grade separated crossing. We've done some very preliminary work on looking at grade separation. You've probably heard of the Connor South extension. We have looked at that as an alternative. What we really haven't looked at is an alternative here at Manassas Drive. If actually eliminating the Manassas Drive at grade crossing would be an option.
Okay.
But this would look at basically all of the options under the sun. It would be additional work and feasibility assessment that we haven't completed before. I think the city may have spent $10,000 to $15,000 on a very preliminary study before, and it gave us a rough concept of an overpass. We've since talked to Norfolk Southern. There's a few hurdles with the Connor South project as it sits today, but that is currently the option we're looking at. It would be a bridge, essentially,
Right.
Several hundred feet up from the existing crossing.
Okay, and then is the $300K, that's funding? I mean, sorry, that's a grant.
Correct, it's a grant. There's
Okay.
no city
Thank you.
requirements.
So, thank you, Steve. I see that the grant is due on the 12th of January.
Yes.
How soon can we expect to hear something to see if we've been awarded that grant?
Good question. Pretty soon, typically. We hear back from NVTA within a few months. And generally speaking, the money is there, we just have to ask for it. So every one that I've done since I've been with the city, we've been awarded funding for. The one thing I would say is through RJAC, the Regional Jurisdiction, NVTA's RJAC committee, it's the Regional Jurisdiction Committee, we can actually request to forward appropriate some of those funds, which is something I've mentioned to the city manager. I think it would be good for us to try to do, to get some of those funds forward appropriated to a sooner year, if it's FY27, FY28, so we can start looking at those options sooner.
Great. The report also says that the city could easily qualify for 500 to 600,000, and we're only asking for 3. Why?
Sure, that's the total pot of, so RSTP and CMAQ are kind of combined.
Okay.
If they're two separate programs, but the pot of money between RSTP and CMAQ is expected to be between 500,000 and 600,000.
Okay,
So
that's the total pot.
Total
Oh,
pot
yeah,
for
we
the
don't
city,
ask for all of
for
it.
the city, and it's given, the size of us considered or compared to other jurisdictions in Northern Virginia, in NVTA, in the footprint. So
Thank you.
some jurisdictions obviously get millions of dollars.
Yeah,
We-
right.
yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
So the funding will be available FY 2032?
That is the year of the program right now. FY32 would be the year for the RSTP and CMAQ funding, but I would like to request we can move the funding for the feasibility study for the crossing sooner.
Okay,
So FY27 maybe, or 28.
okay. Thank you.
No questions, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Staff recommendation is that the governing body approve a resolution in support of the RSTP application for the purpose of completing a grade-separated rail crossing feasibility study as presented and subject to final city attorney review.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you.
Steve.
Thank
It was
you.
the Steve Show tonight.
Yeah.
We have arrived at our second public comment time. Is there anyone who would like to make public comment? Nope. All right. City manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, this stuff takes a long time. It's kind of sometimes hard to get your arms around how long it takes. I when I'm listening to the discussion, I keep being reminded of about the 100 things we have going on that we need to finish too. You know, this, you take in themselves, it seems, yeah, that's pretty easy, but we have 100 other things, VDOT has 100 other things, and so it's all about managing it. So it always seems to take longer than it needs to, but it always gets done, so. I just first wanted to express my appreciation to the governing body for the time they spent Saturday at the retreat. It was time well spent as far as staff is concerned. We got a lot of information that we've started to try to synthesize into something digestible that we'll bring back to you. Make sure we heard what you said. But we had a great time, and it looked like you guys were enjoying yourselves too, and I just really wanted to let you know we appreciate that. The next thing is, just so everybody's aware, our next meeting is next Tuesday, so don't blink, it's in just 1 week. And while I've appreciated getting to know Donald in these last couple of days, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that Lucy came in and picked up the ball for us in September, and really, we would be having a much different conversation right now and for the next couple of months probably, had we not been able to get real estate out in time as far as cash flow and the things that means to the city. And I do appreciate her now occupying her rightfully elected seat, but that was a big lift, and I don't want to lose sight of that, and I really appreciate it.
You're here.
And unless you have anything else for me, I don't have anything else for you.
Okay. We have a closed meeting. The motion is that the governing body convene a closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1 to discuss performance of a public employee. Do I have a motion?
Moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? We are in closed meeting. We'll meet in the back room in 5 minutes.